welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome in general. Today I'm doing like a extension of my last video I uploaded. So recently I did a book recommendation video based around one author and the books that I read. The video did really fucking well, and I mentioned in that video that I wanted to do one on T.L. Swan. So today, that is what we're doing. I love T.L. Swan. Oh my god, her writing style is one of my fucking favorites. My last video was all about Amo Jones, the author, and all her books that I had read. She's a dark romance queen. T.L. Swan doesn't really do dark romance. She's just a different style to Amo, which is why I love her. I'm not someone that just likes one style of writing, you know what I mean? I like different authors for different reasons. T.L. Swan for me is a author that I go to when I want something that's going to consume the fuck out of me, that I can read in like one sitting, that is just going to give me easy, non-complex writing, a book that's going to play out in my mind like a movie, banging chemistry, character development, and just a fucking good old time. Now, when I say non-complex writing, I don't mean they're not talented or anything like that, because I feel like, you know, it's really easy to describe what a plant looks like over 3 pages. But to get a message across about a character and their personality and what they're all about through like one sentence of dialogue is kind of hard. Let me tell you, T.L. Swan just knows how to do it, and she does it so fucking well. I haven't read all her books, but I've read majority, and there's not one book that I did not enjoy. So without further ado, if you want to see all the books that I've read from T.L. Swan and my opinions about them and which ones are my favorites, keep watching, bitch. I stumbled across T.L. Swan's books at the start of the year when I was researching what books to read next. If you guys know, I've only become like a book reader and lover of romance since the end of 2019. So after I fell in love with reading, I got on YouTube and I was reading blogs and stuff like that of like what to read next. And someone had suggested Mr. Masters. How you doing, baby? This is one of my favorite books from T.L. Swan and my favorite books in general. This is a slow burner. If I was to tell you to read any book from T.L. Swan, it would be this one. So it's about this girl who is from Australia and she's 25. She recently breaks up with her boyfriend and gets a working visa over in the UK. Gets a job as a nanny for a single parent. This whole entire time, she thinks that this single parent is a woman. But when she goes to the airport and gets picked up by her new boss, it is a man. It is a 40-year-old man who is super attractive, arrogant as fuck. She is just honestly so embarrassing when it comes to him. I was gagging with laughter. I was like cringing reading some of this because I was like, oh bitch, what the fuck are you doing? This is a fucking masterpiece, and after I read this, I fell in love with the whole single parent nanny trope, and especially like the billionaire like age gap books. This is brilliant. After I read Mr. Masters, I read Mr. Spencer. Now, Mr. Spencer is like a spin-off from Mr. Masters. You meet Mr. Spencer in Mr. Masters. It's one of Mr. Masters' best friends. This one was really good. Not my favorite. I did prefer Mr. Masters than Mr. Spencer. If you're someone that enjoys like age gaps, you know, the whole like billionaire type of dude, he's got a lot of money, this is the type of book for you. So Mr. Spencer has an infatuation with this girl who is quite young. Her family, from my memory, is involved with like politics or something. They're very wealthy and they kind of keep her locked away. Mr. Spencer wants to eat her for fucking breakfast, and it's his mission to get into her pants. But he doesn't realize that she is a virgin. Mr. Spencer is hilarious. He does the funniest shit in this book. Honestly, there's so many little moments in this book that I've just like held on to for months since I've read it. Then we have the Italian. So, bitch, if you know me, I'm a bit of a dark queen and I love mafia romances. This is a mafia romance, but done in such a different way. I didn't know that going into this book, and I don't want to say too much about this book because it's one of those books that you kind of need to go in blind with, so you get like the shock factor, and when the plot twists happen, you don't see them coming. It's about this girl who, again, is 25, and she's from Australia, and she's over in Europe backpacking like by herself. She's in Italy and she meets this scrumptious Italian man, and they spend like 3 days together, just bonding, getting along, making love, and they kind of just fall for each other real fucking quick. She ends up going to like a different country for a couple of days, but tells him that she's going to come back to Italy and meet up with him again. When she comes back, she texts him, calls him, you know, trying to get onto him, let him know that she's at the airport, but he doesn't answer. Doesn't reply. Doesn't even ring her back. She ends up getting done with a bunch of drugs in her luggage and then sent back home. Years down the track, she ends up getting a job in Italy. What she doesn't know is her Italian lover that she met many years ago and fell in love with over the course of 3 days is the reason why she got that job. This is also an age gap. There's a lot of forbidden aspects to this book because obviously the main dude is in the mafia, and if you know anything about the mafia life, if you're Italian, you have to marry another Italian, and she's obviously not Italian. For a mafia romance, it isn't too dark, so I do suggest this to those that don't read mafia romances and want to kind of get into it. This is a really good option because this was my first one and I was like, ooh, mafia life. I'm into this. Where's more? I need more of it. Then we have Dr. Stanton, and this is a big ass book, and this has a lot of different shit going on and a lot of different tropes in it. So it's about this girl, she's in Las Vegas, baby. And when a book opens up with the whole Las Vegas like setting, you know it's gonna be a ride and a lot of fucking fun. So she's in Las Vegas with a couple of girlfriends, living her fucking best life, right? She's up in the clubs, up in the casinos, fucking doing her damn thing. This guy ends up bumping into her and is trying to chat her up, you know, trying to like hit on her, and she's like not wanting it. So she turns to the guy who's standing behind her and she's like, pretend to be my boyfriend. So she's like all over him, laughing and stuff, and this guy's like, hey, this is my girlfriend, like back the fuck off. The guy that she's like fake dated for this moment to get rid of the other dude ends up becoming like obsessed with her and is like, by the end of the night, I'm gonna fuck you, bitch. And she's like, whatever, no way, I'm not that type of girl, I'm not gonna just take my pants off for you. Go to the next chapter. They're banging in a hotel room. They're getting it on. They're doing the deed, and they're doing it fucking well. He ends up like really digging her and wants her number. He gets her number, ends up losing his phone, and then she flies out, goes home, and they know like nothing about each other. He's trying to find her, trying to get his phone back, and it's just gone. Months down the track, she's been in another relationship, she's had a bloody baby, and she moves to LA because she's interning, because she's becoming a doctor. She ends up going into the facility, like the hospital, to start her internship. Guess who's the doctor? Yep, Dr. Stanton, the dude she banged in a hotel room in Las Vegas. A lot is going on in this book. He's super wealthy. He's a doctor. He's her boss. So you're getting like a billionaire boss. He's a little bit older than her, so there's an age gap. She's a single parent, so you've got the single parent trope in there. Then you've also got the fact that she ends up working in like a, kind of like a high-end, kind of elite escorting club. It's hard to describe, but that's also in the book as well. This was a fun ride. The one thing with Swan that I want to let you guys know is her books are fat. Like they're usually around like, you know, 700 pages, and I love the way that she just writes. It just flows easy. It's all pretty much dialogue, so it's like conversation after conversation, and yeah, amazing. I loved this book. It was a fun ride, definitely a fun ride. Then we have the Stopover, which is one of my fucking favorites. So again, we've got a bit of an age gap, billionaire type of trope. So this girl's on her way home from the UK to the US. She went to the UK because she was attending her friend's wedding. A brawl or a fight or something breaks out in the airport, and the airline that she's flying with ends up apologizing to her and feels really bad, so they put her in first class. She is just a regular girl, guys. I mean, she's wearing flip-flops, fucking yoga pants, and a hoodie, bitch, at the airport. And she walks up into first class and sits next to a sexy billionaire who's in his 40s. Mind you, she's in her 20s. They end up kicking it off, having a little bit of banter, back and forth. Something happens and they have to stop over before finishing their flight. And the airline ends up popping everyone who's on the plane in a hotel room for the night. Obviously, billionaire dude and regular fucking 20-year-old end up banging in a hotel room yet again. The next day they wake up, he fucking leaves, not even asking for her fucking number. Fucking bastard. And she's just so hurt by it. She's like, oh, we had the best sex and you don't want to do it again? A couple of months down the track, he comes into her life again, and it's on like Donkey Kong. It's one of my favorites from T.L. Swan. I'd have to say Mr. Masters and then the Stopover. And then after we have the Stopover, we have the Takeover, which is actually kind of like a spin-off yet again from the Stopover. You meet Tristan, who is the main character in the Takeover, in the Stopover. I loved the Takeover. This is one of my favorites of T.L. Swan. I was laughing, I was crying, I was angry, I was happy. It's one of those books that gives you all those emotions and it's a wild ride. So it's about this woman who is in her late 30s. She's a single mom. Her partner or her husband recently passed away. She owns a publishing company in New York City and the company is going bust. Tristan Miles is a rich man who kind of buys companies when they're going bust and then breaks them up and sells them, if that makes sense. You learn about it in the book. You learn what he does. And he sets up a meeting with this woman to try and buy her publishing company and, you know, take it away from her. And she is just like, no, I don't care. I will go broke. I will go bust. This is my husband's company. I promised him that I would keep it going for our children. Fuck you. She is totally not his type. He goes for like young 20-year-olds, you know, skinny, tan, blonde, bimbos, big tits and shit. Where this bitch is in like her late 30s. She's got like a brown bob. She's a mum. She's attractive as fuck, but she's more, you know, mature and she's, you know, not perfect. She doesn't have fake tits and shit like that. And he's just like, I fucking need to bang you. Like, I need to stick my dick in you. Like, what the fuck? You are everything and more. And he makes it his mission to do just that. There's scenes in this book with him interacting with her children. Mind you, 2 of her sons are teens. So they're like, who is this fucking young billionaire trying to fuck my mum? It's so good. Then we have another recent read, which is Our Way, which is, again, is one of my favorites. I recently read this. I've already recommended it to you guys and it's honestly just so fucking amazing. It's about this girl and this guy who have been best friends for 10 years. The guy is gay, has only ever been with men, and they have such an amazing relationship. He honestly just treats her like an equal. She treats him like he's a girl. You know, they have sleepovers. He sleeps in the bed together. They go shopping together. She, you know, showers in front of him. And they just have like a really close, you know, connection and friendship. They're taking their annual holiday and they go bikini and like bathing suit shopping. And she comes out of the change room wearing a skimpy, like low cut bikini and he gets aroused. He ends up going to therapy because he's trying to figure out why the hell he's getting horny over his best friend who is a woman and he's never had these feelings before and he's so confused by them. She is attracted to him and is in love with him, but because of the fact that he is gay, she's never kind of acted on what she feels and she's kind of like, you know, put him aside and been like, I can't go there because he's not into me. But once she finds out that he is now attracted to women, shit gets fucked. Shit changes. It's all over the place, hun. This is one of those books that you're like, oh my God, why can't you guys just be together? Like you are meant to fucking be. I've never read a pansexual romance before, and oh my God, I love it. This book has a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people didn't like it. The main dude in this book is not very liked by a lot of readers that have read the book. I loved him personally. So that's all my favorite books and the books I've read from T.L. Swan. If you're someone who likes my recommendations and everything that I've suggested that you read and you have read, you have loved, you will love her. As I said, just super easy and just like, it just flows in your mind, flows while you read. Everything's very vivid. She paints a picture, she paints it really fucking well and it's just so visible. As I said, my next video will be Penelope Douglas. I cannot wait to sit down and talk about her books. She's one of my favorites as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up. Don't leave before subscribing because that's rude. Don't skip my ads, you know the drill. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Well, that was a lot. That was a bit of a wave. It was a bit of a lot. A bit of a lot? It was a lot.